This young woman grew up living in the shadow of her sister, harboring deep resentment toward her. When she was falsely accused of stealing, her sister refused to believe her. Later, when she brought something over to her sister, she was coldly told that she was not her sister at all. Yet behind these painful moments lies a reason she could never have imagined. Chao Qingyu and her family moved to Huanzhou, where they rent a small shop to open a handmade noodle restaurant. Yet on the very first day, they encounter a difficult customer, one who even scalds her younger brother, Jingyu, by pouring hot water onto his hand. Holding a grudge, Jingyu quietly slashes the man's car tire to vent her anger on behalf of her brother. That evening, the family returns to their cramped, rented room. Jingyu cannot understand why they had to move to such a crowded place, but Fang Hao explains that Huanzhou offers a better learning environment for the two children. When she unexpectedly finds a small pair of shorts in her bag, her expression changes instantly. Jingyu quickly takes the shorts away, and a heavy silence falls over the family. Later, on the rooftop, Jingyu burns the shorts, an unwanted reminder of a memory no one wishes to revisit. She lets out a sigh into the night wind, only to hear the sudden chime of a wind bell from the apartment across the way. Back in her room, Jingyu opens an old yearbook where tucked inside is a photograph of the boy she once knew. On her first stroll through the streets of Huanzhou, Jingyu runs into a gang of delinquent youths who attempt to rob her in broad daylight. Disliking trouble, she quickly slips away into a quieter alley. She sits down to write a letter of reassurance to an old friend, Ma Mingkai. She recalls how he once wrote in her yearbook, regretting that he never had the chance to say a proper farewell. In her letter, Jingyu tells Mingkai that partings are but a natural part of life, and, no matter the distance, they will always stand beneath the same sky. She tucks a leaf into the envelope as a keepsake. Suddenly, a male student snatches the letter and demands that Jingyu repay him for the leaf. To her surprise, he is the same troublemaker from earlier. His name is Ming Sheng. Reading the plaque that says the banyan tree was planted by the Bureau of Landscape Architecture, Jingyu insists it belongs to the city, but Ming Sheng stubbornly claims the tree as his own. When he notices Jingyu's name written on the envelope, something stirs within him. It feels strangely familiar. He asks if she might be Beiyu's younger sister. In a desperate bid to escape, Jingyu bites Ming Sheng's hand and runs. Left behind, Ming Sheng is struck by a memory. A young girl named Jingyu once dancing joyfully on a stage. While tidying up, Jingyu comes across an old pair of shoes. Jingyu immediately throws them into the trash, asking why he would hold on to something so unlucky. Jingyu quietly confesses that he wants to keep this last memento of their eldest sister. He remembers how she once danced so beautifully that everyone in their hometown of Shenyun knew the family had a daughter named Beiyu. But Jingyu reminds him of their mother's words, that, as far as the family is concerned, this person no longer exists. In her dreams, Jingyu drifts into memories filled with relentless teasing, mocked simply for being Beiyu's younger sister. The next day, she arrives at Huanzhou High School, longing for a fresh start. She happens to see two classmates putting up a notice about Ming Sheng's punishment. Spotting that Jingyu is not in uniform, they guess she must be a new transfer. A student named Ye Lin tells her the whole class is cleaning the swimming pool, then asks his close friend Chen Hao, take Jingyu there. Trusting their words, she follows along and joins the cleanup. But while Ye Lin is distracted, chatting with Chen Hao, he accidentally pushes Jingyu into the pool. She struggles to stay afloat, the water closing in around her, until she manages to grasp a lifesaver. Forced to change back into her old clothes, Jingyu feels an even deeper sense of alienation, adrift and out of place among her new classmates. Teacher Sun encourages the class to show warmth toward their new classmate. Jingyu is seated next to a girl named Xiang Nian, who, like her, also comes from the rural town of Shenyun. As Jingyu opens her pencil case, she is startled to see Ming Sheng, the delinquent boy, sitting before her. It turns out he was the one who pulled her from the water. Yet Jingyu refuses to acknowledge help from a troublemaker. During recess, Xiang Nian quietly advises Jingyu to keep her distance from the so-called trio of rebels. She begins describing each of them: Ye Lin, the heir to his family's shoe factory; Chen Hao, who has already secured admission to Huanzhou's sports university. But before she can mention Ming Sheng, he suddenly appears right behind them. Glancing at the wound on his hand, Ming Sheng reaches out as if to check it, but Jingyu coldly ignores him and walks away. During a sex education class, the teacher calls on Jingyu to explain how one should respond to harassment. She opens her textbook only to discover that every page has been scribbled over. From behind, Ye Lin accuses her of defacing the book, mocking that she must be some prehistoric creature too shy to face such biological topics. That evening, when Fang Hao returns home, Jingyu confronts her, demanding to know why she ruined the book. Fang Hao dismisses it, claiming the text is filled with nothing but nonsense. Jingyu pushes back, insisting that it is part of the official curriculum, and that it was precisely her parents' outdated thinking that led to Beiyu's tragic fate. Fan Hao, however, coldly retorts that the eldest daughter met such an end only because she filled her head with frivolous ideas. The next day at school, Qingyu runs into Ming Sheng. He chases after her, demanding compensation. To settle the score, Qingyu offers her hand for him to bite, but Ming Sheng only laughs, saying, "It won't be that easy." Knowing she is a top student, he pressures her into doing his homework. Qingyu refuses, admitting she is still struggling to catch up with the new curriculum. Then Ming Sheng drops a chilling question. Does she want to know how her sister really died? Qingyu is shaken, her mind flashing back to the funeral. She remembers the whispering townsfolk pointing fingers, claiming her sister had died of AIDS. In the aftermath, the family's noodle shop was boycotted until it was forced to close down. While washing dishes with her mother, Qingyu asks Fan Hao about her sister's illness. Fan Hao insists that Beiyu only had an appendectomy but suffered complications. Qingyu challenges her, pointing out that everyone whispers Beiyu died of AIDS. Furious, Fan Hao snaps at her daughter, telling her not to use school lessons as an excuse to lecture her own mother. Later, Ming Sheng catches sight of Qingyu doing his homework. He compliments her neat handwriting, but she coldly replies that this will be the last time. She has no obligation to him. Ming Sheng smirks, saying it's simply her way of paying him back. As Xiang Nian passes by, she quietly warns Qingyu once again to stay away from Ming Sheng. She explains that although he often skips class, he is exceptionally gifted. Ming Sheng once won the national biology competition and also excelled at basketball, making him popular among many of the girls at school. On the basketball court, Ye Zilin asks Ming Sheng why he never explained himself to teacher Sun. The truth is, Ming Sheng had been chasing down a pickpocket on the street when he accidentally collided with Qingyu. Although he returned the stolen money to its rightful owner, bystanders mistook him for the thief. During the game, Chen Hao's throw accidentally strikes Qingyu in the face. Ming Sheng rushes to her side, worried she might have suffered a concussion and be unable to finish his Lani homework. He asks for her phone number so they can stay in touch, but Qingyu replies that she doesn't own a phone. Unfazed, Ming Sheng asks for her QQ account instead. Just then, her younger brother, Jingyu, passes by, praising Ming Sheng as the city's best basketball player, an honor he has held for 3 consecutive years. Qingyu recalls the troubles her sister Beiyu once brought upon her. Back in their hometown, whenever something went missing, the blame always fell on Qingyu. Instead of defending her, Beiyu would look at her with suspicion. Humiliated, Qingyu was forced to empty her school bag in front of everyone to prove her innocence. On another occasion, while bringing fruit to school, Qingyu saw a wealthy man come to pick up Beiyu. She mentioned to him that she was in the city for the national mathematics competition, but Beiyu pretended not to know her own sister. The bitterness in Qingyu's heart only grew. To her, Beiyu's death should have ended everything, yet it still casts a shadow over the family. Fan Hao is now so fearful that even a sex education textbook unsettles her, and Qingyu herself lives in quiet dread, afraid her classmates might one day uncover the past. In class, Qingyu returns a notebook to Ming Sheng, telling him her sister died from appendicitis complications. Ming Sheng only laughs, saying that when Beiyu was hospitalized, it was at the People's Hospital, where his father served as director. Back home, Qingyu is visited by her cousin, Jing Rui, and his fiancée, Xiao Yun. Jing Rui, now a deputy head at a government office, plans to hold their wedding back in their hometown. Leafing through old photos, Xiao Yun mentions seeing childhood pictures of Jingyu alongside a beautiful young girl. Qingyu quickly interjects, insisting it was only a distant cousin. Jing Rui then advises her not to put too much pressure on herself with her studies, reminding her that life requires more real-world experience than what books alone can offer. But when Qingyu asks him about Beiyu's death, he echoes Fan Hao's explanation that it was nothing more than complications from surgery. At school, Qingyu confronts Ming Sheng, firmly refusing to do his homework anymore. But when it comes time to submit her own assignment, she realizes her notebook has gone missing. The class monitor, Lu Jia, is forced to report the matter to the office. Meanwhile, at a lavish family estate, Ming Sheng leaves behind a note before attempting to slip away. His father, Ming Chu Tan, calls after him, reproaching his son for never treating this place as home. Ming Sheng coldly replies that his only real home is the old house back in the village of Chao Yang. Ming Chu Tan accuses him of only returning when he runs out of money, but Ming Sheng counters that once he graduates, he will repay every debt with interest. To Ming Sheng, the father who once saved lives as a doctor is nothing more than a selfish man. During PE class, a female student noticed that Qingyu was on her period. The gym teacher reminded Qingyu to go to the restroom to freshen up. Qingyu remembered that Xiang Nian always carried a spare uniform and intended to borrow it, but Xiang Nian refused. She then bluntly asked whether Qingyu's older sister had died of AIDS. Qingyu froze, all eyes in the classroom turning toward her. She pulled Mingsheng aside, scolding him for being cowardly. Mingsheng calmly replied that instead of attacking him, Qingyu should just borrow another uniform. When they returned to class, Mingsheng heard other students gossiping about AIDS and immediately shouted for them to be quiet. Mingsheng recalled that he had previously asked a nurse named Xiaofang about Beiyu's family lawsuit. Xiaofang had told him that the case had been handled by Mingsheng's own father, and at that time, the hospital had been declared not liable. Later, when Qingyu entered the computer room, everyone kept their mouth distance. She calmly looked up information about appendicitis. The results indicated that appendectomy surgery was generally straightforward and rarely caused complications. When Qingyu went down to the cafeteria, she was met with cold stares and unwelcoming glances from everyone. The only senior who didn't shoo her away was Mu Mu, who, it turned out, lived in the same dormitory complex as Qingyu. Mingsheng later encountered Qingyu by the swimming pool. He complimented her for lying without blinking. Qingyu warned him not to fabricate stories or speak ill of others. Mingsheng then revealed that he was holding evidence related to Beiyu's death, but he hadn't handed it over, fearing Qingyu couldn't handle the truth. Accidentally, Mingsheng dropped the paper into the pool. Without hesitation, Qingyu jumped into the water. Mingsheng, remembering that Qingyu didn't know how to swim, immediately dove in to save her. Qingyu saw that the paper was completely blank and scolded Mingsheng for being despicable. Mingsheng considered the matter settled between them, reasoning that he had saved Qingyu's life. Outwardly, he remained stoic, but at night, he tossed and turned, unable to sleep. He wondered what kind of suffering Qingyu must have endured to risk her life just to retrieve her sister's medical record. Qingyu went to the People's Hospital for a gastroenterology checkup. She asked the doctor whether any patients had died from appendectomy surgery last year. The doctor refused to disclose personal patient information, but assured her that in the past 25 years, no one had died from an appendectomy. As she stepped outside, Qingyu happened to run into Mingsheng. She guessed that he had come to see his father and asked him to obtain her sister's medical record. Mingsheng refused, explaining that the medical record was private and that he wasn't close to his father. Later, in the director's office, Mingsheng asked his father to sign a form to register for a chosen academic track. Mr. Ming crossed out Mingsheng's preference for the social sciences, insisting that his son pursue the natural sciences to study medicine. Mingsheng argued that he had once won first place in the national biology competition to prove his ability, but he despised medicine. Mr. Ming scolded his son, questioning whether sacrificing his entire future just to spite his father was childish. Mingsheng accused his father of always imposing his will without caring about anyone else's feelings. He addressed his father formally as Director Ming and demanded to know what he thought when he drove Mingsheng's mother away and withdrew his grandfather's life support. Mingsheng condemned his father, saying that Mr. Ming, simply because he wore a doctor's coat, had the audacity to interfere with others' lives. He then asked whether his father could honestly claim that Beiyu's death had nothing to do with him, declaring that his father was not a doctor but a murderer. On the rooftop, Qingyu told her younger brother that she had visited the People's Hospital. She had asked numerous nurses and doctors, and all of them confirmed that no one had ever died from appendectomy surgery. Qingyu recalled that earlier that morning, her mother had locked the drawer in her room. Qingyu suggested that the family must be in debt and probably didn't keep money there. Qingyu thought that if she could open the drawer, she might find clues about her sister's illness. During the National Day holiday, Qingyu's family went back to their hometown to visit their grandparents. Her aunt had helped evacuate the grandparents and asked Qingyu's family to clean up their old flooded house. Meanwhile, Mingsheng went out with friends. Zilin mentioned that the most beautiful girl in the Shenyang area had died of AIDS. He revealed that he knew a senior who had once loved Beiyu. According to him, Beiyu appeared cold on the outside but was actually very lenient with men. Mingsheng pretended to throw a ball hard right in front of Zilin and Chen Hao as a warning. He wanted to text Qingyu but didn't know how to start the conversation. Back in her hometown, Qingyu inquired with neighbors about her sister. The owner of a local grocery store lamented the brevity of Beiyu's life. She recalled how, as a child, Beiyu had been left in the countryside while her parents were away for months. Her grandparents were too old and weak to take proper care of her. In the village of Nam, Beiyu had seemed like an extra child, unnecessary and overlooked. Yet as she grew older, she became stunningly beautiful and skilled in dance. She had even received an invitation from an art academy in Beijing, but in the end, Beiyu chose to attend an art college in Huanzhou. Mrs. Fan Hao called her two daughters outside and asked them to throw away all of Beiyu's old belongings. Qingyu wondered if her eldest sister's life would have been different had she lived with their parents in the town of of Shun Yun. Jing Yu recalled their grandparents saying that their parents were unable to support 3 children and had no choice but to leave Beiyu in Nam Chao village. Mr. Chao saw his daughter's collection of award certificates and remembered that his wife had once promised to take Beiyu hiking if she won a literature prize. Later, they became busy with business matters, and Beiyu had lied, saying she didn't win. Mr. Chao never expected that she had actually taken first prize, thinking that if he had been just a little more patient, he could have kept his promise. When the second uncle returned, Jing Yu set the meal on the table. Her aunt, Qin Wenshu, mistook her for Beiyu. Missing her niece, she absent-mindedly gave Jing Yu a bouquet of wildflowers. The second uncle hurried everyone to eat so that his wife could rest. The next day at the library, Jing Yu read on a memory card a phrase about love, radiant, yet also the spark of tragedy. Just then, she ran into an old friend, Ma Mingkai. He remembered sending letters to her that had never been answered. Mingkai invited Qing Yu to come to the library to study together the next morning. Qing Yu thanked him for still spending time with her. Mingkai told her she didn't need to carry the burden of her sister's past. Moreover, he said, Qing Yu was well-behaved and studious, unlike Beiyu, who had often gone to extremes. Qing Yu felt a little sad and asked to leave first. Qing Yu went to the internet cafe to message Ming Sheng, asking him to retrieve her sister's medical record. Ming Sheng agreed to get a copy, but asked how she would compensate him. Zilin noticed that his best friend seemed completely captivated by Qing Yu and only scoffed. Back at home, Qing Yu met a healthcare worker named Xu Zhen, who had come to examine her aunt. She recalled that Mrs. Zhen had worked at the local clinic for nearly 25 years and decided to ask her some questions. Mrs. Zhen didn't know the details of Beiyu's illness, but remembered that during the winter break, when Beiyu returned home from the Huanzhou art school, she had suffered an accidental miscarriage. Beiyu called her mother to pick her up but was slapped instead. Meanwhile, perched high on a tree branch, Ming Sheng recalled his childhood when his mother was still alive. She often took him up into the trees to listen to the rustling leaves and birdsong, believing that the sounds of nature could soothe her son's heart. Finally, Qing Yu received a copy of her sister's medical record. The words "positive" on the paper left her stunned, as if all her previous efforts had collapsed. She informed her younger brother that their eldest sister had indeed been diagnosed with AIDS and had once suffered a miscarriage in Nam Chao village. Qing Yu became determined to find the person who had harmed her sister. Early the next morning, Ming Kai had prepared bubble tea for Qing Yu at the library. She finally arrived, but everyone around quickly left. Just then, Mrs. Fang Hao happened to pass by. Seeing her daughter talking privately with a boy, she immediately dragged Qing Yu home. In Huanzhou City, Mumu cooked a meal for Ming Sheng. She recalled that all her cooking skills had been taught by Ming Sheng's grandfather. Although Ming Sheng had lost his grandfather, he still had a sisterly neighbor like Mumu. Mumu gave him tickets to a professional basketball game, but Ming Sheng knew they had been sent by his father. He resented his father for not allowing his grandfather the right to choose how to live. Moreover, his father had hidden the grandfather's death from him, fearing it would affect Ming Sheng's high school entrance exams. In Nam Chao village, Mrs. Fan Hao confronted Qing Yu, telling her that she did not want her daughter to end up like Beiyu. Beiyu had carried a tarnished reputation her entire life, and even after her death, people continued to gossip. Mrs. Fan Hao strictly forbade Qing Yu from being alone with any boy from that moment onward. Qing Yu, frustrated and oppressed, sank down onto the porch. At that moment, her aunt mistook Qing Yu for Beiyu and pulled her along to look for her parents. The second uncle hurried after them, coaxing his wife to go pick flowers. In the middle of the night, Qing Yu took her younger brother, Jing Yu, to the cemetery. Beiyu's grave was modest, but unexpectedly, someone else was already there offering incense. Qing Yu burned joss paper along with a family photo to bid farewell to her sister. A gust of wind scattered the ashes, and coincidentally, at that very moment, her aunt's house caught fire. Early the next morning, neighbors gathered to watch. They had heard that Mrs. Qin had been smoking and failed to put out the embers, which had started the fire. The second uncle took his wife to the hospital and asked Qing Yu's family to help clean up the house. While tidying up, Qing Yu discovered a notebook that her aunt always kept with her. Inside were diary entries resembling Beiyu's personal confessions. Beiyu had written that she deeply loved the man who took her virginity, the only person she had ever relied on in Nam Chao village. Back at school, Qing Yu went for a health check. While measuring her height, a classmate played a prank and hid her shoes. After the National Day holiday, Teacher Sun announced that some students had transferred to the social sciences track. He advised his students not to take the easy path in their 11th grade year. Ming Sheng noticed Qing Yu walking barefoot and deliberately stayed behind in class. Once the classroom emptied, he asked Qing Yu to dispose photos of his shoes. Later, he hid in a corner and saw Qingyu temporarily wearing a pair of his boy's shoes. When Mrs. Fang Hao saw Qingyu wearing the boy's shoes, she demanded an explanation. Qingyu said she had lost her shoes and had coincidentally found a pair in the trash. Mrs. Fang Hao scolded her for lying shamelessly and daring to wear a boy's shoes without permission. Qingyu revealed that people online were digging up Beiyu's past, which implicated both him and Qingyu. Mrs. Fang Hao apologized, admitting she had no idea that Qingyu had been bullied at school. She advised her daughter to be patient and to strive to gain admission to a prestigious university. The next day, Qingyu caught two classmates stuffing trash into her backpack. Zilin advised her not to make a scene, warning that it might anger Mingsheng. Frustrated, Qingyu emptied all the trash into Mingsheng's backpack in retaliation. Later, when she encountered a senior in the hallway, Qingyu worried that Mingsheng might take revenge on her. Mumu, who grew up with Mingsheng, reassured her that Mingsheng was kind-hearted and honorable. As Qingyu walked across the schoolyard, she happened to see Mingsheng making Zilin clean his backpack. Mingsheng scolded Zilin for spreading rumors about Beiyu's illness, which had caused Qingyu to misunderstand him. Zilin explained that he had read the rumor online and had carelessly repeated it while gossiping. Seeing a passing chef, Mingsheng mischievously made Zilin hop across the schoolyard, wearing a cooking pan like a hat. Back at home, looking at Mingsheng's shoes, Qingyu recalled Mumu's words and reflected on her memories. Indeed, Mingsheng had always appeared at the moments when she needed him the most. The next day, arriving late to school, Mingsheng noticed his clean shoes in his desk and smiled as he saw Qingyu suddenly become enthusiastic about studying. He waited for her in the hallway and said that he had originally planned to throw the shoes away, but out of respect for someone who had washed them, he would keep them for a few more days. Mingsheng asked Qingyu to complete all the semester's homework so that he could be free to take a French language exam. Qingyu agreed on the condition that Mingsheng return Ma Mingkai's letter and lend her his phone. She recalled that the class president had mentioned how Mingsheng often helped the class by retrieving letters for everyone. Mingsheng handed his phone to Qingyu and promised to find the letter later. In return, he reminded her to complete the homework carefully. On the way home, Mingsheng asked Mumu why boys like to hide letters sent to girls. Mumu was certain that a boy only did such things when he had feelings for the girl. Waiting for their mother to return, Qingyu reported that he had filled out his school record incorrectly, so the teacher demanded that he bring the household registration book for verification. Qingyu seized the moment when her mother opened a drawer and deliberately poured hot water on her hand to distract her. Sure enough, Mrs. Fang Hao rushed to the kitchen, giving Qingyu the chance to photograph the documents inside the drawer. Among them was a hospital bill for Beiyu's treatment, totaling 160,000 Chinese yuan, along with a receipt showing money received from Jing Rui. Qingyu wondered why her cousin Jing Rui, who had just started working, sent money home to their mother every month. Qingyu guessed that their cousin knew the family was struggling and decided to help from his salary. The next day, Mrs. Fang Hao noticed that money was missing from the drawer and recalled that her son had taken the household registration book. She found 2 coins on Qingyu and also discovered a phone in Qingyu's backpack. Qingyu explained that she had found it in the library, but Mrs. Fang Hao didn't believe her and wanted to follow her to school. Qingyu admitted that she had prompted her brother to open the drawer. She handed her mother the remaining diary of Beiyu. Mrs. Fang Hao broke down in tears, realizing that Beiyu was gone and could never return. Qingyu told her that Beiyu had not died from appendicitis, but that her boyfriend in Namchao village was the real culprit. Mrs. Fang Hao advised Qingyu to focus on herself, warning that as long as she was alive, she would continue to keep a strict watch over her daughter. At school, Mrs. Fang Hao asked the teacher about the owner of the phone, while Qingyu insisted that she had not stolen it and had only picked it up in the library. Meanwhile, Ming Sheng overheard classmates gossiping that Qingyu was suspected of theft. Just then, the school loudspeaker announced that anyone who had lost a phone in the library should come to the teacher's office to retrieve it. On her way, Qingyu tried to signal to Ming Sheng that she was with her mother. Ming Sheng understood and passed by without incident. However, Mrs. Fang Hao saw them and recognized Ming Sheng's shoes immediately. Fortunately, Zilin and Chen Hao were also wearing similar shoes. At that moment, the teacher announced that the owner of the phone had been found. Mumu explained that she had left a black phone with 2 scratches on the back in the library. Qingyu ran to thank her for the help. Mumu said she was only following a request and reminded Qingyu to thank Ming Sheng as well. With little pocket money, Qingyu could only buy a bottle of water to thank Ming Sheng. Zilin laughed, unable to understand how someone could try to court Ming Sheng with just a bottle of water. Ming Sheng, however, complimented the handwriting on the label and remarked that the water was very refreshing. At the Chow family's noodle shop, a fellow villager named He Fei Hai recognized Jing Yu. Mrs. Fang Hao realized he was the son of Uncle He from Nam Chao village. Fei Hai, who was currently studying in Huanzhou, had dropped by while passing through. He had once studied with Bei Yu and wanted to pay his respects to the family. Jing Yu recalled that in the past, Fei Hai often followed Jing Rui and Bei Yu. Jing Yu wrote a small note and secretly placed it under a food container for Fei Hai. When they met privately, Fei Hai realized she wanted to ask about Bei Yu. He explained that Nam Chao was very poor and backward, and the children grew up freely. It wasn't until Jing Rui brought Bei Yu along that Fei Hai realized there was such a beautiful girl in the world. As time passed, Bei Yu became increasingly outstanding, which aroused jealousy among those around her. Classmates said that Bei Yu was ill-mannered, and the gossip gradually spread. Fei Hai blamed himself for being too timid to speak up and protect Bei Yu. After going to Wanzhou, he had sought out Bei Yu, but she had already changed, appearing exactly as the rumors described. Fei Hai chose to remain silent and went abroad for an exchange program. He recalled a time when Bei Yu, frustrated, went to Shenyun to find her parents, only to be sent back to Nam Chao village. Qing Yu accused Fei Hai of being as weak as the people who had bullied Bei Yu. Fei Hai hurried to catch up and sent her a video of Bei Yu performing at a high school arts festival. Coincidentally, Ming Sheng passed by at that moment and saw Qing Yu exchanging a token with another boy. Qing Yu reviewed the video and saw Bei Yu shining brightly on stage, yet utterly alone. During computer class, Qing Yu quickly accessed the forum of Huanzhou Art School and searched for old photos. Sure enough, she found pictures of Bei Yu with her university friends. She hurriedly sent a message to arrange a meeting. Just then, Teacher Sun announced that the next class would be chemistry. Qing Yu feigned a stomachache and asked to leave early. She went to meet Bei Yu's friend, Xu Meng, and directly asked whether Bei Yu had ever had a boyfriend. Meng recalled that when Bei Yu first enrolled, she had become the campus beauty, attracting attention from many men, even those who already had girlfriends. However, Bei Yu always encountered the wrong people. At first, they seemed sweet, but upon discovering her connection to the underworld, they falsely accused her of seduction. Bei Yu saw the world clearly, but was trusting at heart. Anyone who treated her kindly earned her love completely. Qing Yu then asked whether Bei Yu had ever been in love in Nam Chao village. Meng said she had only heard of someone, but couldn't remember the name. At the football field where noodles were being delivered, Qing Yu was surprised to discover that it was all a prank by Zilin. He explained that he had only intended to support his classmate's family, but upon seeing Qing Yu's reaction, he cancelled the order. Chen Hao, kind-hearted, returned the money to Qing Yu. When Ming Sheng chased after her, Qing Yu's bike broke down. He helped repair it and gave her a ride for a while. Riding behind him, he asked about the man at the cafe. Startled, Qing Yu stumbled and handed him the handlebars. She shared that after being hurt in her first love, Bei Yu had always depended on men, and now Qing Yu was determined to find the person who had harmed her sister and seek justice. A sudden downpour began. Though the sun still shone, sitting behind him, Qing Yu lightly gripped Ming Sheng's shirt, her thoughts spinning with the wheels. When they arrived home, Mrs. Fang Hao scolded Qing Yu for keeping the video of Bei Yu dancing. She broke the disc and forbade Qing Yu from following in her sister's footsteps. Ming Sheng, drenched from the rain, kept sneezing. He didn't eat anything but secretly watched Qing Yu, catching a cold himself in the process. Qing Yu logged into Bei Yu's social media account and discovered that her sister had saved photos with each of her boyfriends. Just then, an account claiming to be Qing Yu's brother-in-law asked to meet. At the school gate, Qing Yu encountered He Jie, who had once loved Bei Yu and was rumored to have ties to the underworld. He had heard that Qing Yu was investigating him. Staying calm, she led him to a nearby bubble tea shop. He Jie shared that Bei Yu often came to sing at his karaoke bar. Once, he had helped her and gradually fell in love with her. At first, he treated her words like precious treasures, but over time, he realized Bei Yu was too naive. She believed whatever men told her. Thinking she had approached the wrong person, Qing Yu tried to leave, but Heiji remembered clearly meeting her years ago when she brought fruit for Bei Yu. He knew that at the time, Bei Yu had pretended not to know her sister to protect her from being involved with someone like him. Heiji did not expect that, after many years, Bei Yu's sister would return to see him. At that moment, one of Heiji's subordinates alerted him that someone was sabotaging his car. Mumu appeared, creating a distraction and pulling Qing Yu to safety. She warned Mumu not to get involved with those people again. At the Chow family's noodle shop, Heiji introduced himself as Bei Yu's ex-boyfriend. Mrs. Fang Hao pretended not to know him, but Heiji was aware that the Chow family had another young daughter. Mrs. Fang Hao instructed her husband not to let Qing Yu visit the shop anymore, and hired their cousin, Chow Huan, to help out. After the lunch break, Qing Yu noticed a bouquet bouquet on the table. Xiang Nian, curious, asked if she liked the delinquent boy outside the school gate. Qingyu remained silent and threw the bouquet into the trash. On her way home, Qingyu sensed someone following her. It turned out Ming Sheng had used the excuse of looking for Mumu to escort her back. At home, her younger brother Jingyu wondered why Beiyu had once gone to Shenyun. He recalled that night being extremely cold. He had seen Beiyu sitting outside the door. Beiyu would rather quit dance school than return to Namchao village. She wanted to stay with her parents and help run the noodle shop. However, Mrs. Fan Hao feared losing face if her daughter didn't graduate high school, insisting that Beiyu endure and only focus on passing the university entrance exams. Beiyu, desperate, looked at the family photo where she was absent. From that moment on, she never tried to escape Namchao again, knowing that no one would come to save her. Meanwhile, He Jie ordered his men to vandalize the noodle shop. Harboring resentment over Beiyu's perceived betrayal, he demanded that Qingyu pay the price instead. Qingyu emerged from the kitchen and splashed dirty water in He Jie's face. Only when she heard the sirens of approaching police did he release the Chao family. Mrs. Fan Hao confronted Qingyu, questioning why she was so stubborn about her sister's death. She warned that if the matter became public, it would bring even more shame to the family. Qingyu, in turn, blamed her parents for letting Beiyu suffer out of pride, refusing to save her sister when it mattered most. At school, Qingyu met Ming Sheng. Mumu had prepared a small birthday cake for Ming Sheng's father to thank him for often treating her mother. Busy with training, Mumu asked Ming Sheng to deliver it to the hospital. Just then, Ming Sheng's father had an urgent surgery. Ming Sheng waited in the office and accidentally came across a photo of his father with Mrs. Fang. The next day at school, Ming Sheng heard his classmates urging him to submit his assignments. He ran to find Qingyu and saw her sitting alone on the sports field. He knew a little about the Chao family noodle shop and guessed that it would collapse in a few days. Qingyu thought that Beiyu must have suffered 100 times more than herself. She had once resented her sister for being weak, but now she understood that the wounds in Beiyu's heart could never heal. Beiyu had suffered so much that she chose to self-destruct, while those who had pushed her into misery continued to live on, indifferent and unpunished. While the whole class was preparing to cheer for the basketball finals, Qingyu had to stay behind for duty. A classmate mentioned that her boyfriend was waiting at the school gate. Sure enough, He Jie confronted Qingyu, demanding she repay the emotional debt for Beiyu or he would make things difficult for her parents. Qingyu challenged him, asking about the things he had done to Beiyu. He Jie admitted that with just a little alcohol, Beiyu would obey any man. Losing control, Qingyu lunged at him with a knife. Ming Shen caught her in time, preventing her from being held responsible. His hand bled, but his first concern was whether Qingyu was okay. Seeing the surrounding chatter, he draped his jacket over her and comforted her, assuring her not to be afraid because he would stay by her side. Mrs. Fan Hao arrived at school. Feeling embarrassed, she bowed and apologized to the homeroom teacher and to Ming Sheng. At that moment, Mr. Ming appeared, but she pretended not to know him. The principal explained that the police had already caught the thugs. Knowing Qingyu had a sister, he sympathized with her family situation and granted her 2 days at home for self-reflection. Mrs. Fan Hao apologized again and asked for Qingyu to continue attending school. Ming Shen took full responsibility, explaining that he had accidentally been cut by the knife. Mr. Ming also assumed that Qingyu had been harassed by the thugs and that the school could not punish her. At home, Mr. Ming bandaged his son's wound and told him to rest for a few days. At that moment, Mrs. Fang called, but he didn't answer. While preparing meals, the neighborhood association called, reminding the family to contribute a music album. Ming Shen confronted his father, asking if he intended to clear out his mother's belongings to bring someone else in. Without waiting for an explanation, he grabbed his things and left. Meanwhile, Qingyu looked at the blood stains on her clothes and remembered Ming Sheng's promise to always be by her side. Truly, every time she needed him, he appeared. On the rooftop, Qingyu listened to the wind chimes and watched the lights glow. For the first time, she saw the silhouette of the person who owned the bell. The next day, Qingyu's classmates blamed her for Ming Sheng's mistakes that caused the basketball team to lose. They demanded that she bow and apologize. Ming Sheng spoke up, saying it was a matter between him and Qingyu, but the harassment didn't stop. Someone secretly dumped trash over Qingyu. Knowing who the culprit was, she invited Mumu to help her get revenge. At the dance studio, Mumu gave her a pair of socks. Having noticed Qingyu sneaking glances at the dance class before, Mu taught her a few moves. Qingyu remembered that her very first dance teacher had been Bei Yu. Seeing Qingyu's talent, Mu invited her to join the club, but Qingyu asked for some time to think it over. On her way back to the Chow family's noodle shop, Qingyu helped her cousin deliver orders. She realized the customer was the owner of the wind chime. Pretending to offer a special promotion, she pushed the door open and rushed in, only to find it was Ming Sheng. She didn't expect him to be domineering at school, yet so messy at home. Ming Sheng reminded Qingyu that he hadn't cleaned up yet because of his injured hand. Qingyu apologized, admitting that without him, she could have caused serious trouble. Ming Sheng wouldn't accept a simple apology. He made her earn her keep. He sat playing video games, occasionally glancing at her while she cleaned. When bored with the game, he teased her for fun. While organizing items under the desk, Qingyu found an old photo of Ming Sheng's mother. He quickly grabbed it back and scolded her for snooping. Feeling that she had paid her debt, he finally sent her home. Knowing he had been a bit harsh, Ming Sheng tried to start a conversation the next day, but Qingyu ignored him as if they had never met. During gym class, Ming Sheng ran after Qingyu and arranged to meet her at the old tree to retrieve Ming Kai's letter. When Qingyu arrived at the meeting point, Ming Sheng asked her to close her eyes and listen to the sounds of nature. He told her that the tree was apologizing on his behalf. He admitted he shouldn't have lost his temper with her. He explained that the photo she saw was of his mother, and that the base of the tree had been a secret spot for him and his mother. Ming Sheng asked if she wanted to hear about his life. He shared that his parents divorced when he was young, and he had lived with his grandfather. But during the summer before high school entrance exams, his grandfather passed away. Feeling like he was superfluous, he wondered if he had been born by mistake. Qingyu told him that his feelings and past made him far less hateful than his outward demeanor suggested. Ming Sheng walked her home and returned Ming Kai's letter. He asked if she planned to reply, and, though he feigned concern for her studies, he secretly smiled when she said she wouldn't respond. Early in the morning, Fang Hao took Qingyu to the bus station to go back to the countryside and change her name. She had heard people say that girls with the name Yu were unlucky. Qingyu found her mother's reasoning absurd and refused to comply. Witnessing the scene, onlookers mistakenly thought Fang Hao was kidnapping her daughter and rushed to rescue Qingyu. Back home, Fang Hao asked Qingyu what she intended to do. Qingyu argued that it was her mother who had never respected her in the first place. Fang Hao scolded her daughter for being unfilial and daring to blame the person who had raised her. When she heard her husband defend Qingyu, Fang Hao confronted him, questioning whether he had ever truly cared for their daughter. She admitted that because she hadn't been strict enough with Bei Yu, she had ultimately driven her into danger. Fang Hao resented her in-laws for fighting over her children, blamed her husband for following their wishes out of pride, and held herself accountable for not firmly sending Bei Yu far away. Waiting for Qingyu at the school gate, Meng Meng apologized for eavesdropping on news about He Jie without permission. Qingyu did not blame her, admitting that she herself wanted to know about him. Meng Meng mentioned that she had found an old keepsake belonging to her friend. Remembering how much Bei Yu had treasured this little box, Qingyu agreed to return to the countryside for the winter break to continue her investigation. At home, her grandmother hastily ladled soup for her grandson. Forgetting about Qingyu, her eldest aunt-in-law praised Jing Rui's fiancée, calling her both beautiful and well-bred. Being wealthy, no dowry was necessary. Their grandmother reasoned that since her grandson was the top scholar in the entire district, he could surely marry someone far more outstanding than Xiao Yun. Unable to bear the family's blatant preference for sons over daughters, Qingyu excused herself and returned to her room. Elsewhere, Mr. Ming was packing clothes for Ming Sheng, preparing him to visit his mother in France. Ming Sheng guessed that his father found him irksome, which was why he wanted him to leave early. At the same time, Qingyu accompanied her cousin Jing Rui to the county seat to pick up wedding photos. She admired the little hanger on his car. Jing Rui explained that Bei Yu had given it to him years ago when he first bought the vehicle. Qingyu asked Jing Rui to share stories about Bei Yu in Nam Chao village. Jing Rui recalled that his grandparents had taken Bei Yu in when she had just turned 6. Whenever Bei Yu quietly cried at night, he would use fireflies to soothe her. Over time, Bei Yu grew accustomed to life in Nam Chao, but she still longed to live with her parents. Yet, she never asked them to bring her back, knowing that if she returned, her younger sister would have to stay behind in Nam Chao. Bei Yu cared for her little sister, just as Qingyu at least had her cousin by her side. From then on, Jing Rui resolved to protect Bei Yu so she would not suffer injustice. Qingyu felt regretful that she had never been there to understand her sister. In France, the manager, Guan Chengyu, welcomed Ming Sheng to meet his mother. He explained that Anna was busy preparing for a contest concert, Anna embraced her son and praised how quickly Mingsheng had grown. While listening to his mother play the piano, Mingsheng deliberately sent a photo to Qingyu by mistake. When he saw Qingyu reply, he immediately started a video call to talk more easily. However, Qingyu didn't have a microphone, so she could only view the image. Mingsheng pointed out that his mother was playing the piano in the background. Noticing that she no longer appeared so melancholic, he thought perhaps she had been right to leave him. Then Mingsheng asked Qingyu if she thought he was superfluous. Qingyu confidently replied that Mingsheng was very important to everyone. In the warehouse, Qingyu retrieved an old set of blankets for her grandmother and discovered an old notebook on top with handwriting belonging to her second aunt. Aunt Qin explained that she wasn't crazy and that her real name was Qin Wenshu. The next day, when Qingyu went to the kindergarten with Jing Rui, she finally dared to continue reading her second aunt's notebook. In it, Aunt Qin wrote that her only friend was Bei Yu. One day, Bei Yu confided in her that she had a crush on Jing Rui. In fact, Jing Rui was not biologically part of the Chow family. To inherit the family business, the first uncle and his wife had hidden this from everyone and adopted Jing Rui from an orphanage. They feared that Jing Rui's true identity would be exposed and wanted to preserve the Chow family's reputation, so they shifted all the blame onto Bei Yu. Upon hearing that her daughter had a miscarriage, Fang Hao demanded to meet Jing Rui. The first aunt falsely accused Bei Yu of seducing her cousin and preventing a top student from pursuing her studies. Bei Yu had expected her parents to support her, but instead, she received only a slap. She dared not speak the truth because she didn't know who she could rely on. After news of Bei Yu's miscarriage spread throughout the village, Jing Rui never returned to Namchao. Everyone claimed that Bei Yu led a dissolute life, but she never defended herself. Qingyu finally understood why Jing Rui sent money to her mother every month. The one who had misled Bei Yu was Jing Rui himself, while the true culprits were the entire Chow family. During dinner, the first aunt criticized the youngest daughter's family for moving to the city. She said that Jingyu might broaden his horizons, but Qingyu, being a girl, was easily influenced by bad habits. Qingyu asked her aunt who had caused her sister to pick up such bad habits. The aunt insisted that the Chow family was known for being well-educated and that everyone treated her niece kindly. Qingyu directly asked Jing Rui whether her sister had learned bad habits from him. Immediately, the whole family spoke up to defend the heir. Jing Rui responded that everyone chooses their own path and cannot blame others. He thought that Bei Yu would also hope her family remembered her good sides and let go of past mistakes. Catching sight of Fei Hai picking up the groomsman's items, Qingyu chased after him and told him not to attend Jing Rui's wedding. Fei Hai guessed that Qingyu was misunderstanding. He knew she wanted to find the mastermind who brought misfortune to Bei Yu, but it was absolutely not Jing Rui. Qingyu resented the unfairness of life, how everyone seemed to point a knife at a solitary girl like Bei Yu. Placing the music box on the wedding bed, she wanted to observe Jing Rui's reaction. She said that last night, Bei Yu had appeared in a dream, mentioning a music box in the attic, yet now she had actually found it. Qingyu guessed that her sister still had unfinished wishes. She asked Jing Rui if the person in the photo was him and warned him not to lie, or he would have to pay the price. Back in her room, Qingyu sent a New Year's message to Mingsheng, informing him that she had discovered the mastermind who harmed her sister. She noted that if she were to expose the truth, she would have to stand against the entire Chow family. Everyone else believed that forgetting the past was the right thing to do, but Mingsheng thought that only justice could truly be called right. Hearing the fireworks outside, Qingyu recalled that Lunar New Year when her parents had wanted to bring Bei Yu to Shunyun. Her grandmother, fearing her youngest grandson would be disadvantaged, insisted that one of the two granddaughters stay behind in Namchao village. Bei Yu, out of love for her sister, agreed to stay apart from their parents. Qingyu suddenly realized that in countless moments she had overlooked, her sister had always been silently protecting her. This time she resolved to do what was right for Bei Yu. On the morning of Lunar New Year's Day, the entire Chow family went to visit the graves. The second uncle quietly burned paper offerings, representing his wife in remembrance. Qingyu waited until everyone had left, then went over to burn the notebook for her aunt. She thanked her aunt for loving and caring for her sister. Passing by Bei Yu's neglected grave, Qingyu asked if her sister would support her decision. If the Chow family had sacrificed Bei Yu to protect Jing Rui, she would make them pay. Qingyu told Mingsheng that she wished for more courage. He replied that she should do whatever she wanted, and he would always be behind her, supporting her. Before the wedding day, Jing Rui took Xiaoyun back to the countryside. Fearing that Xiaoyun might interact with Qingyu, Jing Rui asked his cousins to go buy snacks for the guests. He then met privately with Fang Hao, who handed him the savings book containing all the money Jing Rui had sent every month. Previously, Fang Hao had been reluctant hesitant to accept it, but Mr. Chow advised giving her grandson a chance to make amends. So the couple had kept it, waiting for the right moment to return it. Later, Jingrui met with Qingyu and admitted that in his youthful recklessness he had caused Beiyu's misfortune. He asked Qingyu to give him a chance to make amends to her family. Qingyu agreed, but set the condition that Jingrui must bear all the consequences himself. At midnight, Qingyu woke up to fold the letters into candles and place them into each wedding candy box. She knew that after tomorrow, everyone would discover the story hidden behind the Chow family's veneer of pride. Yet, she still had to fight for justice for her sister. The long-awaited wedding day finally arrived. Jingrui, the pride of the entire village, was personally congratulated by the village secretary. Meanwhile, Qingyu inquired about how Xiaoyun had gotten to know Jingrui. Xiaoyun explained that back in their third year of university, she had played the lead female role in a dance-heavy play directed by Jingrui. Over time, the two had grown close and eventually became a couple. Qingyu apologized for her family's past troubles and sincerely wished Xiaoyun happiness. As wedding fireworks lit up the sky, Qingyu held the wedding candy boxes in her hands, recalling Xiaoyun's joyful smile and the satisfied expressions of the Chow family. In that moment, she hesitated, considering putting the candy boxes away. However, two of her cousins whispered that Beiyu's family should not appear at Jingrui's wedding, insisting that Beiyu would always remain a stain on the Chow family's honor. Qingyu realized that if the truth were never revealed, no one would ever understand the suffering her family had endured. The Chow family's so-called pride had been bought at the cost of Beiyu's life. No matter how lively the wedding was, it could not hide the crime. The letter Qingyu had prepared would expose the truth. The cowardly man responsible for Beiyu's miscarriage was none other than the groom at the most celebrated wedding in Nam Chao village. The so-called heir whom the Chow family had cherished was, in fact, only an adopted child. All the sins were dumped on Beiyu to conceal Jingrui's true identity. 6 years ago, every villager present in Nam Chao had participated in a conspiracy to kill, yet the actual victim, Beiyu, had not been buried in the ancestral cemetery. There wasn't even a nameplate on her grave. After exposing the truth, Qingyu decided to leave Nam Chao. However, her train to Jiangzhou was cancelled due to bad weather, forcing her to spend the night at the station. With insufficient money for a hotel, she had to sleep on a bench. After dozing off for a while, she realized her wallet had been stolen, leaving her with only 5 coins. She ordered a simple bowl of vegetarian noodles, and the kind shop owner added a fried egg out of sympathy. Touched by the woman's kindness, Qingyu asked if she could stay and help out at the shop for a few days. Meanwhile, the moment Mingsheng landed at the airport, he immediately took a taxi to Shenyun. He sent a message to Qingyu, but received no response. Seeing a missed call at 3 in the morning, Mingsheng called back and learned that Qingyu had borrowed the noodle shop owner's phone to get in touch. Without hesitation, Mingsheng turned his car toward Wenzhou train station. At the same time, the Chow family was searching everywhere for Qingyu. Fei Hai was the first to find her. He told her that, no matter how much she hated the Chow family, she shouldn't make everyone worry. Qingyu replied that the family was only looking for her to scold her. She then asked Fei Hai if, knowing the truth, he felt any sympathy for Beiyu. Didn't he resent Jingrui's family for ruining Beiyu's life? Fei Hai calmly replied that he wouldn't act impulsively like Qingyu. What she had done had destroyed the Chow family's hard-earned reputation over the years and implicated innocent people. Qingyu, however, insisted that no one in that family was innocent. Everyone had covered for Jingrui, while tarnishing Beiyu's name. Fei Hai wondered if perhaps Beiyu resented him too, but Qingyu remembered that her sister had once written in her diary that Fei Hai's care was the only warmth she had ever felt when the whole world turned its back on her. After hearing this, Qingyu ran off into the storming blizzard. She fell onto the blanketed snow, and a familiar figure approached, brushing the snow off her. Qingyu whispered that she had finally sought justice for her sister, yet instead of feeling relieved, a heavy weight settled over her. Mingsheng grasped Qingyu's hand and pulled her tightly into his embrace. Snow fell in a thick white sheet, covering the streets and Mingsheng's hair. Lying against his chest, Qingyu could hear the steady rhythm of his breathing. She felt the warmth seeping through her thick coat, as if he were carrying the entire world on his shoulders. At the hospital, Mingsheng sat by Qingyu's side, caring for her through the night. A nurse mentioned that the Chow family patient had finally broken her fever. Knowing Qingyu feared feared her family finding out. Ming Shang gave a false name for her. Qingyu had thought Ming Shang would remain in France until the end of the winter break, but he reminded her that he had promised to always stay by her side. Just then, the hospital received a bride-to-be in emergency care. Seeing Mrs. Fang, Ming Shang quickly pulled Qingyu away. Qingyu asked why. Even when doing the right thing, she always felt afraid. She didn't dare stay in the village, worried her grandparents would scold her parents. She also feared Xiao Yun might end up in a situation like the bride-to-be they had just seen. Ming Shang advised her to rest and regain her strength first. He knew a place where her family would never be able to find her. Ming Shang secretly brought Qingyu to his home. Qingyu wanted to bring along the little bird she had found injured in the snow. Ming Shang never imagined he would one day need his grandfather's bird cage. He guessed that Qingyu's parents, searching all over Huanzhou, would never expect their daughter to be hiding right under their noses. Ming Shang handed her some clothes to change into. Seeing the suspicion in her eyes, he reassured her that he was not some wild beast. Qingyu thanked him and carried the clothes into the bathroom. After her shower, she noticed a note left on the table by Ming Shang. He said he had gone out to buy some things and reminded her not to draw the curtains. Curious, Qingyu explored the room. Upon seeing a family photo of Ming Shang, the little bird began singing continuously. Just then, Ming Shang returned. Noticing the bird was injured, he asked Qingyu to fetch some medicine from the drawer. Qingyu couldn't help but smile and praised Ming Shang for being so skilled. He mentioned that his father was a renowned surgeon. Hearing the bird chirp endlessly, Qingyu decided to name it Chech. Meanwhile, Qingyu's father and mother were calling everywhere, searching for their daughter. Her mother even contacted Ma Mingkai, asking him to try to find any news of Qingyu. Just then, the police called to report that they had rescued a female student from the riverbank. Although her age didn't match, Mrs. Fang Hao still insisted on going to see. She feared that a misjudgment by the police might make her miss the chance to see her daughter. At the same time, Ming Shang asked Qingyu whether she planned to leave after recovering. Qingyu said she wanted to go somewhere bigger. She promised that once she started working and earning money, she would repay Ming Shang for the hospital expenses. Ming Shang asked if she thought he was helping her for money. He then told her that if she was determined to leave Huanzhou, he would go with her. After all, he had always wanted to run away from home, and he knew Qingyu often fell ill, so he couldn't bear to leave her alone. Qingyu thanked Ming Shang for his devoted help, yet she didn't want him to make a decision on the spur of the moment. Ming Shang insisted that he was not acting impulsively and wasn't helping her merely out of goodwill. He firmly stated that he would go with her no matter what. Late into the night, Mrs. Fang Hao was still distributing flyers in search of her daughter. She caught sight of a figure resembling Qingyu and hurriedly ran across the street, nearly getting hit by a car, yet still couldn't find her. Fearful and desperate, Mrs. Fang Hao pressed on, posting missing person notices on tree trunks along the way. At Ming Shang's home, Qingyu listened as he played a gentle, melodious tune on his instrument. When Qingyu praised the music, Ming Shang jokingly pretended to demand payment. In response, Qingyu gave him a necklace, not valuable in monetary terms, but the only lucky charm she had. She knew Ming Shang was only teasing, but she genuinely wanted to thank him. Ming Shang accepted the necklace, treating it as a token between them. He opened the window and handed her a wind chime, passing on luck. To Qingyu, she revealed that she had heard the sound of this wind chime even before meeting Ming Shang. Realizing it was late, Qingyu decided to sleep on the chair. Ming Shang hurriedly carried her to the bed and said he would sleep on the mat. He even carefully hung a dividing curtain between them. Unexpectedly, the curtain fell just as they lay facing each other. Ming Shang blamed the curtain for being hard to secure, but being upright and honest, he asked Qingyu if she remembered the first time they met. Qingyu recalled that day. Ming Shang had extorted money from someone else and made her pay for a leaf. Ming Shang laughed and revealed that it wasn't actually the first time they had met. Ming Shang recounted that 5 years ago, he had gone to Huanzhou Theater in search of his mother. While waiting, he came across a piano. As he sat down, he unexpectedly saw a girl practicing her movements on the stage. Ming Shang happily accompanied her dance with his music. He never imagined that 5 years later, he would recognize her instantly at first sight. Hearing Qingyu scold him for spying, Ming Shang quickly clarified that she had danced in front of him first, and he had only improvised music to accompany her. He also admitted that Qingyu had been even cuter as a child. While others danced like swans, she waddled like a plump duck playing in water. At that moment, a loud rumbling startled them. Ming Shang hurriedly pulled Qingyu to hide, thinking it might be an earthquake. He called her by her full name, Qingyu, and asked if, in the event of a real earthquake, they would consider it a shared life or death experience. Qingyu scolded him not to think nonsense. Just then, a neighbor shouted angrily about someone skipping rope in the middle of the night. Ming Ming Shang said that if it really were an earthquake, he would definitely protect her. The next day, reporters arrived at the Chaoyang residential area to cover the story of the missing 11th grade student. Upstairs, Qingyu intended to open the curtains, but Ming Shang stopped her. She didn't want the commotion, yet she had no other choice if she wanted to seek justice for her sister. At the hospital, Director Ming heard Nurse Fang mention that she had seen Ming Shang running into the emergency stairwell. Although he knew Ming Shang was supposed to be in France, he immediately went to find his son. Hearing his father call, Ming Shang quickly ushered Qingyu into the bedroom, hastily hid her belongings, and pretended to calmly sit down and eat noodles. However, as soon as he entered the house, Director Ming noticed a pair of women's shoes. He asked why his son had returned to the country without informing him. Ming Shang replied that he was grown up and didn't need to report his schedule to anyone. His father handed him some living expenses and reminded him not to live on instant noodles all the time. After Director Ming left, Ming Shang called Qingyu to come out. Qingyu apologized for causing him trouble. Ming Shang admitted that he hated his father's constant control, which was why he didn't want to be close to him, even for a single moment. Qingyu recalled how her parents had always taught her to be honest and kind, yet they themselves were cowardly and selfish. Ming Shang assured her that, in the future, he might grow fat and sport a beard, but he would always remain a sincere person. He believed that his heart would forever be that of a radiant young boy. At that moment, a couple of neighbors began arguing loudly. Qingyu peeked and realized they were Mumu's parents. Ming Shang instructed Qingyu to stay inside while he went out to intervene. Mumu quickly called him back, warning that no one could reason with someone drunk. Ming Shang turned back and apologized for frightening Qingyu. He explained that Mumu's father had suffered business losses and drank heavily every day, damaging his liver. Ming Shang recalled his own father saying that Mumu's father might only be able to hang on for about 3 more years. Qingyu felt a sudden unease, wondering whether her parents might fall ill while she had run away. The next day, Qingyu had fully recovered. She even invented a special dipping sauce to make the flavor of the dumplings richer. Qingyu told Ming Shang that she should leave soon. Ming Shang planned to make a shopping list of things they would need before leaving Guangzhou, but he asked Qingyu to follow his guidance, claiming he had more experience living independently. He insisted that he would be her only partner on the long journey ahead. While Ming Shang went out to buy supplies, Qingyu heard Mumu calling for help. She reluctantly opened the door and explained that she was only hiding at Ming Shang's house for a few days. Soon after, she heard Mumu's father causing a commotion, and she quickly pulled her senior into the house. Mumu promised to keep Qingyu's secret and admired her bravery, acknowledging that she herself would not have had the courage to do the same. Mumu asked her junior what she planned to do next. Qingyu replied that she would head to Jiangzhou and gradually make a plan. Mumu guessed that Ming Sheng would likely go with her. She recounted that she had grown up alongside Ming Sheng. When Mr. Sheng was still alive, he had always cared for Mumu as if she were his own grandchild. After his passing, Ming Sheng had kept his promise to treat Mumu like family. Ming Sheng often helped those in need, which explained why he was willing to take the risk of hiding Qingyu in his house. Mumu worried that, due to Ming Sheng's strained relationship with his father and the pressures of studying abroad, he might act impulsively and get hurt. She explained that Ming Sheng's parents had decided he should study in France to become an outstanding doctor in the future. He was also diligently learning foreign languages and might eventually settle in France with his mother. Mumu concluded that neither she nor Qingyu truly belonged to Ming Sheng's world. His future would likely unfold according to the plans his family had set, and nothing could surpass that. In front of the grocery store, Ming Sheng saw a mother scolding her child for running around. Feeling anxious, he immediately called Qingyu. Hearing her voice, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Ming Sheng told Qingyu not to leave and to wait for him to return. While packing supplies, Ming Sheng handed Qingyu a heat patch and instructed her to stick it inside her clothes. He explained that he didn't want to drag an ailing person all the way to Jiangzhou. He also entrusted Qingyu with the red envelope money he had been saving for 12 years. Qingyu asked if he had thought about where they would live or how they would earn money once they reached Jiangzhou. Ming Sheng said a friend had helped him find a job at a supermarket and that they could stay in the staff dormitory. Qingyu replied that Ming Sheng's life shouldn't have to be like that. Ming Sheng, however, insisted that he wasn't leaving because of Qingyu, but because he wanted to escape his father's control. Ming Sheng teased Qingyu for thinking about giving up and made her promise that she would never change for 100 years. He lifted his head to the bright moon and asked Qingyu whether their escape journey felt like something out of a movie. Qingyu said she wanted to eat hamburgers, visit an amusement park, and and watch the lighthouse by the sea. Ming Sheng laughed at her innocent wishes. He said that if he could finally escape his father's control, he would grow his hair curly and go to a bar to watch football. Then he complimented the night, saying the moon was especially beautiful tonight. The day of departure finally arrived. Ming Sheng draped a coat over Qingyu and told her to wait until he called for the car. Qingyu thanked him and said she would always remember how well he had treated her. Before leaving, she left her bank card and the wind chime behind, carrying only the little bird with her. Downstairs, as Ming Sheng arranged the car and called Qingyu, she was spotted by the neighbors. Immediately, the villagers rushed out, scolding her for making her parents worry. Ming Sheng wanted to run to her aid, but suddenly realized she had left him behind. Elsewhere, Qingyu's parents finally reunited with their daughter. Mrs. Fang Hao, trying to stay composed, asked where Qingyu had gone, but soon lost control and struck her. At home, Qingyu's grandfather made her kneel. Mr. Qiao scolded his daughter, saying she had ruined Jingrui's wedding and caused his mother to fall ill. He then ordered his son to take Qingyu back to their hometown to offer the relatives and Neve explanation. At that moment, Ming Sheng confronted his father. He asked why he had revealed Qingyu's whereabouts to the media. Ming Sheng knew his father had been suspicious ever since he visited their house. Mr. Ming claimed he only wanted to prevent a mistake from happening. Ming Sheng accused his father of constantly interfering in his children's lives without ever considering their feelings. Mr. Ming insisted that once Ming Sheng matured, he would understand his father's intentions. Meanwhile, Mrs. Fang Hao saw that Qingyu refused to admit her mistakes, while Mr. Qiao blamed Mrs. Fang Hao for failing to teach her daughter properly. Mrs. Fang Hao took all the blame upon herself, saying that every flaw in her daughter came from her, while any good in Qingyu was inherited from her husband. She explained that she had given birth to 3 children and had worked tirelessly to raise them, yet in the end, all their mistakes were attributed to her failure as a mother. This was why her in-laws felt free to openly scold her. Later, when she went to see her daughter, Mrs. Fang Hao was heartbroken to find Qingyu looking gaunt and fragile. She asked where Qingyu had been all this time. Qingyu recounted that Ming Sheng had found her unconscious on the snow and had let her stay with him for a few days. Mrs. Fang Hao suspected that Qingyu must have reached out intentionally to allow Ming Sheng to find her. She considered 2 possibilities. Either Ming Sheng had improper intentions toward her daughter, or Qingyu had willingly fallen into his care. Furious, Mrs. Fang Hao scolded Qingyu, saying she was just like Beiyu, unwilling to listen to her parents. Qingyu, in turn, blamed her parents for Beiyu's death, arguing that they had pushed Beiyu into Jingrui's hands despite claiming to be rational. The parents, standing on a moral high ground, imposed their will so heavily that their daughter could not endure it. Mrs. Fang Hao, afraid that she might ruin Qingyu's life, initially told her daughter to leave immediately. Yet when she saw Qingyu taking her steps away, she lost control and lunged at her, striking her. In the ensuing chaos, Mrs. Fang Hao accidentally slapped Qingyu hard enough to draw blood. The next morning, Mrs. Fang Hao hired someone to install iron gates. Qingyu, seeing her sister injured, said she feared Qingyu would have to live a life like the little bird. Later, Mrs. Fang Hao went to meet Ming Sheng, demanding that he stay away from her daughter. She warned that if Ming Sheng continued to cling to Qingyu, she could not guarantee what she might do. Upon returning home, Mrs. Fang Hao informed her daughter that from now on, she would accompany her to school and that Qingyu no longer needed to carry money. If she wanted to buy anything, she should ask her mother. She also instructed that Qingyu must not tell anyone about staying with a male student. Mrs. Fang Hao declared that whether Qingyu liked it or not was irrelevant. She would strictly manage her daughter. Only when Qingyu was safe and had passed the university entrance exams would she grant her daughter freedom. As the new semester began, everyone was talking about Qingyu running away from home. Ming Sheng, sitting in class, kept his eyes fixed on the wound on Qingyu's cheek. Qingyu quickly looked away and asked teacher Sun to explain the lesson to her. During the break, Qingyu continued trying to avoid Ming Sheng, but he chased her persistently until she finally agreed to talk. She ducked into a room and locked the door. From outside, Ming Sheng asked why she had left without saying goodbye, why she hadn't answered his messages, and insisted that she owed him an explanation. When the door opened, however, Zilin and Chen Hao were inside, mocking Ming Sheng's words and laughing loudly. It turned out Qingyu had been hiding behind a nearby wall. During swimming practice, Ming Sheng finally had a chance to confront Qingyu. He urged her to explain why she had left without a word, but Qingyu remained silent and kept avoiding him. On the way home, Ming Sheng wondered why so many people made promises to him but never explained themselves. Chen Hao thought Ming Sheng still held hope, otherwise Qingyu would have faced him calmly instead of avoiding him. He reminded Ming Sheng to check on his father, as the patient's family family was blocking the hospital gate and causing a commotion in the media. When he returned home, Ming Sheng looked through an old photo album, still holding many family memories from the past. Later, he went to the hospital to see his father, but Miss Feng told him that the director wasn't there. Ming Sheng assumed his father was in surgery and sat down to wait. Miss Feng guessed that he hadn't read the news yet. The next morning, Ming Sheng went to meet his father and confronted him about why he had hidden the photo album of his mother and himself. Mr. Ming recalled that when he divorced, Ming Sheng had been only 1 year old. Knowing how much his son loved his mother, he had carefully stored the photos until Ming Sheng grew up. Ming Sheng reminded his father not to think that a few kind words could soften him. If he truly cared, he wouldn't have driven his mother away. Mr. Ming insisted that once Ming Sheng matured, he would understand the story between his parents. But Ming Sheng, now 18, said he already knew his father's excuses. He also knew that Director Ming had once faced medical misconduct issues and had been suspended. Mr. Ming spent his days preaching morality, yet patients sued him to the point that he could no longer practice medicine. Ming Sheng advised his father to give himself a proper break and stop forcing himself to do things beyond his abilities, like raising a dog or pretending to be a good father. Meanwhile, Mumu used the excuse of needing Qingyu to carry some documents to get her out of the house. Qingyu confided that she was running out of courage. She didn't know whether the things she had done were right or wrong. She could face her family's anger, but refused to apologize. Mumu said that this was the pain of growing up. Upstairs, Mrs. Fang Hao overheard her daughter talking to a friend. Hearing her husband promised to take Qingyu back to the countryside for an explanation, she borrowed the phone and informed her father-in-law that Qingyu would not go anywhere. She said she had already lost Beiyu and could not lose Qingyu too. She scolded them for having hit and berated her daughter and asked what more they could possibly want. She blamed her husband for failing to protect their daughter, and hearing her husband force Qingyu to apologize while her father-in-law kept calling, she insisted that even if it cost her life, she would not send Qingyu to the countryside. Mrs. Fang Hao berated the entire Chow family, claiming their conscience had been stolen by dogs. She said that if, years ago, they had forced her to give birth to a son, she should have taken Beiyu away from that house. While waiting for her sister to return, Jingyu explained that their mother had refused to let Qingyu go to the countryside, leading to an argument with their father. What had once been mere rumors about Beiyu's miscarriage now had verified proof. Jing Rui had also gone through a divorce, and the eldest sister-in-law had been hospitalized. Jingyu advised her sister not to be stubborn. Without acknowledging her mistakes, she could not move forward. When Qingyu went outside to meet their father, she agreed to return to the countryside. Mr. Chow reminded her that she would face hardships. Qingyu replied that she wasn't afraid of punishment, she only didn't want her parents to keep arguing. Mr. Chow accepted her reasoning and instructed her not to let their mother know. When Qingyu returned to Nam Chiao, she kowtowed to apologize. Her eldest aunt cursed her, accusing Qingyu of ruining her son's life. The grandfather threw down his cane and ordered Qingyu's father punished his daughter. Unable to bring himself to strike, Mr. Chiao shielded his son with his own body to protect him from the blows. Fang Hao rushed in, begging her father-in-law to calm down. She acknowledged that Qingyu had committed a serious wrongdoing, but she was still so young. She admitted she didn't know how to teach her child and offered to bear all the punishment herself. The eldest aunt accused Fang Hao's two daughters of conspiring to destroy Jing Rui's life. Fang Hao replied that even if her daughters had ruined Jing Rui, who would compensate her for Beiyu? Her Beiyu was already gone. Hearing the eldest aunt say that Beiyu's death was well-deserved, Fang Hao forced Qingyu to stand up. She declared that the letter found in the candy box had been written under her orders. Losing control, the eldest aunt lunged at mother and son, and others had to intervene. While Fang Hao repeatedly slapped her own face, Qingyu pleaded with his mother to stop, but Fang Hao, blaming both the Chow family and herself, could not relent. Upon returning to Huanzhou, Mr. Chow remarked that he had intended to bring his daughter home to endure a few lashes and smooth things over. Yet Fang Hao had only made matters more complicated. She felt as if she were being pushed to the brink of madness. The next morning, Fang Hao sat down to talk with her daughter. She knew that Qingyu disliked this house, but since her daughter was still young, leaving would make her vulnerable to bullying. She encouraged her to endure for now, at least until graduation, after which she could do as she wished. Fang Hao hoped her daughter would trust that she still kept her promises. Later, in class, Ming Sang found that someone had sprayed glue on Qingyu's chair, Ming Sheng urged Chen Hao to teach them a lesson. Chen Hao deliberately pushed a girl named Ming Shi onto the chair, causing all the glue to be wiped off. Ming Shi confronted him, questioning how someone who usually bullied others could suddenly act so upright. Zilin explained that they had all changed, and from now on, they would protect those who were good. Ming Sheng secretly placed his notebook upside down on the chair to hide his good intentions. After class, Chen Hao waited for Qingyu in the hallway. Chen Hao handed her a letter that read, "As long as you turn back, there will always be someone here for you." At the sports field, Chen Hao revealed that he had given the letter to Qingyu. She said nothing, only pausing for a moment to reflect. On her way home from school, Qingyu ran into the neighbor, who recalled seeing Ming Sheng escort a girl home before. The neighbor wondered if Qingyu had been hiding in his house. Qingyu rushed over and pulled their mother and sister back home. Before heading to the noodle shop, Fang Hao instructed Qingyu to bring the key back to her. After fetching the items, Qingyu asked her younger brother to give her a moment of privacy so she could meet Ming Sheng. She wanted to be decisive once and for all, ending any lingering ties with him. At the base of an ancient tree, Qingyu warned that if Ming Sheng continued to cling to her, her mother would set his house on fire. Ming Sheng thanked her aunt for making him realize that he mattered in Qingyu's heart. Qingyu retorted, asking what right he had to assume she would choose him over her family. She acknowledged and appreciated everything he had done, but insisted that they had no future together. After graduation, he would go abroad, and she couldn't destroy his future. Ming Sheng argued that even if he were in France, he would always support her. Qingyu countered that she couldn't leave home again and hurt her loved ones. She told him to act as if she didn't exist, just like before, adding that life would be easier for her without him. From the very first encounter, she had hated him for his arrogance and for the way he bullied her. Ming Sheng spoke to Qingyu, apologizing if he had unintentionally hurt her. He asked if she could possibly stop hating him. Qingyu replied that she did hate him. She told him that he was a burden to her. The blazing sunlight was not enough to brighten Ming Sheng's mood at that moment. He longed to hold Qingyu, even for a little while. Yet her words of thanks or apology felt unnecessary, almost meaningless. Ming Sheng told Qingyu to go, explaining that every choice in life was like a battle with oneself. The hardest part, he said, was not being denied by others but doubting one's own self. Suddenly, Qingyu's inner world collapsed. She felt as if she were standing in a sea of mist, her body growing day by day, yet her soul utterly lost. The next day, Qingyu overheard her friends gossiping that Ming Sheng was tutoring Ming Si in the library. At the same time, Ming Sheng messaged Chen Hao, arranging an afternoon karaoke session with the high school's top beauty. On her way home, Fang Hao stopped her car to pick up her daughter. Suddenly, the chain on her bicycle slipped. A group of youths passing by recognized Qingyu from a TV appearance. They showed no respect for her parent and tried to lure Qingyu to run away with them. Coincidentally, Ming Sheng happened to be passing by but pretended not to see. Instead of going to karaoke, he took Chen Hao and Zilin to eat instant noodles. Zilin, curious, asked why Ming Sheng usually helped others, but this time acted as if he didn't see Qingyu in trouble. He suspected this was a soft coercion tactic. Zilin teased him, saying he was addicted but still shy. At that moment, Zilin saw news of a leaked revealing photo of Qingyu. Ming Sheng immediately turned back, only catching a glimpse of a piece of her clothing. Panicked, he ran everywhere with Chen Hao and Zilin, trying to track down the group of delinquents from earlier. Ming Sheng confronted them, asking if they had posted Qingyu's photo online. Unexpectedly, they still had accomplices. As a result, Ming Sheng, Chen Hao, and Zilin were all brutally beaten. It was only later that they discovered the photo was just a Photoshop fake. The gang hadn't even reached Qingyu before. Fang Hao arrived and gave them a severe beating. Meanwhile, Ming Sheng congratulated his mother, Anna, on completing her performance successfully. He recounted the incident with the delinquents, which had made his father angry. Anna advised Ming Sheng not to always oppose his father. She explained that Mr. Ming truly loved his son, but was not good at expressing it. Anna admitted that years ago she had taken the initiative to leave her husband because he had been overly focused on work, and the couple often quarreled. Being impulsive and hot-tempered, she decided to take their son to France. Mr. Ming had opposed it, fearing their son would suffer. Anna blamed her own selfishness for making her son rebellious and resistant toward his father. Meanwhile, Qingyu heard a commotion downstairs and discovered that Mumu had called the police to confront her father. Later, Mumu invited Qingyu to the dance studio, saying she wanted to test her courage just like her younger friend. However, Mumu's mother refused to hold her husband accountable. After After the police left, Mumu's father began smashing things in the house, while her mother scolded Mumu for daring to report a family member to the authorities. Mumu felt anger both at her father, who had always hurt the two of them, and at herself for making matters worse with her actions. Qingyu deeply empathized with Mumu, realizing that in her own pursuit of justice for her sister, she had inadvertently hurt her parents as well. She recalled how her own parents frequently argued while her younger brother had moved into the school dormitory. Mumu admitted that she didn't know what the future would hold, but at least she could breathe freely in the world of dance. Together, they practiced in front of the mirror, reflecting on themselves and adjusting to become better versions. In the following days, Qingyu often went to the studio to release her emotions. She gradually improved herself through each dance, occasionally encountering Mingsheng in the hallway, though they passed each other like strangers. During psychology class, the teacher presented an apple with two sides, explaining that everyone needs to step outside their own perspective to understand someone else's worldview, a crucial step in the process of growing up. However, on her way home, Qingyu's classmates came across the letters she had written demanding justice. They mocked her, saying she could only see one side of the apple, and laughed at her courage. At the school gate, Qingyu met Jingri. She told him that she had knelt and bowed her head to apologize to their grandparents. Jingri simply informed her that he was about to leave Huanzhou. He believed Qingyu could be brave because she had never lived in Namqiao village, unaware that he and Beiyu had relied on each other since childhood. After their actions were discovered by the family, Jingri chose to step back. Having struggled so hard to leave Namqiao, he did not have the courage to give up everything for Beiyu. Jingri did not blame Qingyu. On the contrary, he said that her revealing the truth had given him a sense of relief. He returned Beiyu's keepsake, saying he no longer had the right to keep it. He urged Qingyu not to let the past hold her back, and hoped she would live the life that Beiyu never had the chance to live. Meanwhile, Mingsheng decided to move out of his grandfather's old house. He quietly watched Qingyu head to school, but only bid her farewell silently in his heart. Due to his participation in the intensive French training course, Mingsheng often missed classes, yet every day he would secretly climb the old tree to watch Qingyu pass by. One morning, while waiting for her mother to take her to school, Qingyu overheard neighbors mentioning that Mingsheng had recently moved. Just then, Mrs. Fang Hao came downstairs, and Qingyu asked for permission to join the weekend field study at the Qingxi wetlands. Later, Mumu ran into Mingsheng and asked where he had moved. Mingsheng explained that the French training was conducted in a closed program, so he had relocated to the dormitory. He had also temporarily taken a leave from school to focus on obtaining his language certificate. Seeing Mumu looking glum, Mingsheng gave her the contact information of a psychologist and advised her to take Qingyu along, as Qingyu also needed support. Later, at the vast Qingxi beach, Mumu recounted her encounter with Mingsheng to Qingyu. She admitted she did not know what had transpired between Qingyu and Mingsheng, but noticed that Mingsheng seemed deeply melancholic. Following Mingsheng's suggestion, Mumu handed the psychologist's contact to Qingyu. Facing the boundless ocean, Qingyu opened Cheche's cage. The little bird was still too small to fly, but Qingyu believed that one day, Chech would grow strong enough to spread its wings and soar toward freedom. She turned to Mumu and asked, with a mix of hope and uncertainty, whether everything would truly become better when they grew up. During the exam, the ground suddenly shook. Mr. Sun panicked and urged the students to evacuate to the school playground. Qingyu saw Mingxi stumble, so she quickly helped her friend and ran outside. Huanzhou was only lightly affected by the earthquake, so both Mr. Sun and the students were unharmed. The entire class pooled their money to support the areas that had suffered severe damage. When the students learned that Mr. Sun still could not reach his family in the disaster zone, Zilin expressed gratitude to him for not abandoning his students during the exam. Mr. Sun, choked with emotion, secretly wiped away a tear before continuing the lesson. Upon hearing that his son had returned to school, Mr. Ming went to meet Mingsheng. He scolded his son for signing up for the closed training program without informing him. Mingsheng confronted his father, asking why he hadn't explained clearly when Mingsheng had misunderstood that Mr. Ming had driven his mother away. He told his father that this misunderstanding had made him hate the wrong person and turned him into a fool. At another moment, Qingyu received a package containing Beiyu's medical records. She clearly remembered that her sister had passed away on the 29th day of Lunar New Year last year, yet the records showed her health was still stable in December. Qingyu realized that the period between her sister's stable condition and her passing was less than 2 months. She began to suspect that her parents had stopped treatment due to financial pressure. Qingyu recalled that winter when she had traveled from Xunyun to Huanzhou to bring warm clothes and shoes for her her parents. Mrs. Fang Hao had been busy caring for Beiyu in the hospital and told Qingyu to return to Xunyun first. On her way back, Qingyu unexpectedly met Beiyu on the bridge. She quickly put a coat on her sister and urged her to recover quickly so that their parents could return to run the noodle shop and take care of Jingyu. Beiyu admitted to Qingyu that she felt like a burden and agreed to return the parents to Qingyu. In a drunken rage, Mumu's father begins to abuse her mother again. Mumu tries to intervene, but unfortunately, she falls down the stairs. With her leg injured, she asks Qingyu to buy her some food. Mumu recalls that this time, her mother dared to resist for the first time, prompting her father to promise he would stop drinking. At that moment, a member of the dance team arrives, asking who will take Mumu's place as the lead performer in tomorrow's fundraising event. Remembering Qingyu's skill and familiarity with the choreography, Mumu entrusts him to perform in her stead. On the day of the performance, Mumu tells Qingyu not to be tense, advising him to imagine himself as a bird soaring freely across the sky. Outside, Mingsheng passes by the earthquake relief stage. Hearing the host introduce a dance performance by Huanzhou High School, he stops to watch. He never expected to see Qingyu again, this time free and expressive on stage. Through the dance, Qingyu channels anger, courage, struggle, and even warmth from someone else. The music concludes at the very moment Mrs. Fang Hao spots her daughter on stage. Seeing Qingyu rush inside, Mingsheng immediately grabs her and runs to escape. Mumu wonders if her aunt has mistaken someone else for Qingyu, since Qingyu was never part of the dance club. Meanwhile, Mingsheng pulls Qingyu through the gusts of wind. As he glances back, Qingyu meets Mingsheng's eyes, filled with worry, as if he wants to make sure she is still there, still running beside him. They finally stop beneath the ancient tree, both of them bewildered and speechless. In the end, Mingsheng steps forward first, leaving without a backward glance at Qingyu. In the cafeteria, it was the first time Qingyu was invited by her classmates to sit and eat together. Mingshi reminded everyone to let go of past grievances and never bring them up again. Mingsheng went to see Mrs. Fang, questioning whether his father had truly administered excessive treatment to patients merely for financial gain. Mrs. Fang explained that the patient had cholangiocarcinoma at the hepatic hilum, a condition so risky that many hospitals had refused to operate. The patient and her husband had knelt down, pleading with Director Ming to save her life. Despite strong opposition from other doctors, Director Ming accepted the patient for treatment. The first surgery was successful, but complications arose afterward. Director Ming decided to operate a second time, yet unfortunately, the patient still passed away. In the end, the patient's in-laws refused to pay for the surgery and shifted the blame onto Director Ming, accusing him of performing unnecessary treatment. Later, Mingsheng went to visit his father. For the first time, he admitted that this was truly his home. He noticed his father reading a study guide for studying abroad in France. Seeing his son with free time, Mr. Ming suggested he stay for a meal to try 2 new dishes he had just practiced cooking. At the same time, upon learning that Mumu's father had been hospitalized, Mrs. Fang Hao brought her daughter to visit. She urged Qingyu to take Mumu to eat something. Watching Mumu bury her head in a bowl of noodles, Qingyu felt a pang of sorrow. Mumu revealed that her father was in the final stage of liver cancer. With chemotherapy, he could have lived a few more years. Without it, he had only a few days left. Her father wanted a chance to rebuild his life, but Mumu's mother argued that chemotherapy might not even cure him, and the medical expenses were far too high. The family was already in debt and could not borrow more. In the hospital, Mumu's 2 aunts agreed to lend money for the treatment, but her mother refused, unwilling to shoulder such a heavy debt. Her aunts criticized her for being irresponsible. Just as Mumu and Qingyu arrived to intervene, Mingsheng managed to catch Qingyu. Qingyu overheard Mumu's father pleading desperately for one more chance, and then heard the helpless sobs of Mumu's mother. One day, while Qingyu was waiting for the rain to stop, Mingsheng quickly hid his umbrella in his bag. He used the excuse of having forgotten it to start a conversation with Qingyu. He mentioned that he had registered for the medical entrance exam at the University of Paris, so he might not be attending school anymore. He asked Qingyu if there was anything she wanted to say to him. Qingyu simply wished Mingsheng well. As Qingyu was about to leave, Mingsheng pulled her back and admitted that he had only lied about forgetting the umbrella. Qingyu, worried she might not be able to return the umbrella, preferred to walk home in the rain. Later, Qingyu went to see her school psychologist, Luo Fan, and expressed her desire to join the HIV/AIDS prevention organization, which held weekly seminars every Saturday. She also sought advice from Dr. Zhang, asking why a patient whose infection was detected early could sometimes deteriorate so quickly. Dr. Zhang explained that early Detection generally significantly prolongs life expectancy, making sudden death extremely unlikely. After returning home and changing his clothes, Ming Sheng asks his father if he regrets treating a patient who ultimately passed away. Mr. Ming firmly replies that if given the chance to do it again, he would make the same decision. Hearing this, Ming Sheng gradually begins to understand his father better. Meanwhile, Qingyu's mother is hospitalized. The doctors reveal that Mrs. Fang Hao has overdosed on antidepressants. Qingyu realizes that the painkillers her mother often takes are actually antidepressants. When Qingyu questions him, Mr. Chow admits that he has been regularly mixing antidepressants into her medicine. He explains that Mrs. Fang Hao's shoulder pain actually stems from depression, which began after she brought Beiyu's remains back to Namchao village. Mrs. Fang Hao had once asked Beiyu in the middle of the night whether she resented her parents for having 2 more children and sending her back to the countryside. The next day, when she saw that her daughter had not been laid to rest in the Chow family plot, her heart shattered even further. In the light rain that night, Mrs. Fang Hao went to the grave and covered her daughter with a blanket. Though still alive, her eyes seemed to have died along with Beiyu. Sensing that his wife was acting strangely, Mr. Chow took her for a psychological evaluation. The doctor diagnosed Mrs. Fang Hao with mild depression, noting that patients often exhibit low self-esteem and lethargy. The condition may also manifest in somatic symptoms, such as insomnia and physical aches. The doctor advised the family to be understanding and cautioned them never to provoke or agitate the patient. At the hospital, the Medical Dispute Mediation Committee requested that Director Ming apologize to the patient's family. They believed that the lawsuit had caused too much commotion and wanted to minimize the damage. At that moment, the patient's husband came to see Director Ming to apologize. He expressed his gratitude to the doctor for treating his wife. The husband recounted that before going into surgery, his wife had asked him to always remember and be grateful to Director Ming, whether she survived or not. After her passing, the husband had to secretly work outside to pay for the hospital fees. He had never expected that his own parents would falsely accuse Director Ming just to avoid paying the medical expenses. Ming Sheng went to see his father. Mr. Ming asked why he hadn't attended school for the past few days. Ming Sheng replied that he already knew everything the teachers were teaching at school, so he didn't need to go anymore. Outwardly, Mr. Ming thanked his son for his straightforwardness, but inwardly, he quietly went to find the patient's husband to offer help. He recalled when Ming Sheng was a child and sulked at his grandfather, running off to sleep under the banyan tree. It was Mr. Ming who carried his son back home. He also remembered a time when he had performed surgery all day and just wanted to go home for a nap. But when he opened the blanket, he found soggy instant noodles spread all over the bed. Angered, Mr. Ming punished Ming Sheng by banning him from watching cartoons for a month. What he didn't know was that Ming Sheng had only wanted to cook noodles for him, but since he had waited too long for his father to return, he hid the noodles under the blanket to keep them warm. Unfortunately, Ming Sheng fell asleep and the noodles spilled onto the bed. The young Ming Sheng felt both hurt and wronged. Not only had he not been praised by his father, he had also been harshly punished. While participating in the HIV/AIDS prevention organization, Qingyu saw Beiyu's photo in the volunteer file. Miss Luofan told Qingyu that Beiyu had always supported the association's awareness campaigns, but after that final phone call, Miss Luofan never saw Beiyu again. Qingyu asked Luofan how her sister had died. When she get home, Qingyu no longer wanted to help Qingyu sneak out. Qingyu believed that Beiyu had voluntarily returned to the afterlife. She thought that Beiyu could have lived longer, but someone had spread false rumors online, and since then Beiyu had received countless messages and calls day and night. Opportunistic troublemakers harassed her, while hypocrites viciously criticized her. In the end, on the 29th of the Lunar New Year, Beiyu ran away from the hospital. By the time Fang Hao reached the seaside, her eldest daughter was gone. Qingyu realized that for Beiyu, living had been even more painful than dying. She also understood why her parents had kept everything secret, because those very rumors had ultimately destroyed Beiyu right before their eyes. Later, Qingyu met Mumu at school. Mumu told Qingyu that she had borrowed money from her father's side of the family to pay for her father's treatment. She admitted that she still loved her father and didn't want to face regret later. Mumu understood that her mother wasn't stingy, but feared the consequences for her daughter's future. She realized that if her mother were seriously ill. She might even choose to forgo chemotherapy. Mumu said she wanted to learn from Qingyu how to become a brave and responsible person. Seeing Mrs. Fang Hao struggling with a sore leg, Qingyu wanted to ride her bike and take her mother home. She promised that from now on she would cook for herself and told her mother she no longer needed to escort her to school. If her mother worried, she could simply call the landline to check. Qingyu expressed that she hadn't understood things properly before, but from now on she would no longer make her mother worry. The next day, Fang Hao had to prepare to return to her hometown to take care of her father-in-law, who had fallen. Qingyu wondered how her mother, being ill herself, could have the strength to care for him. Moreover, the family had previously agreed that the eldest uncle should be responsible for elderly care. Fang Hao said that family ties could not be severed. She added that when she grows old, she too would return to Namqiao with Beiyu. 2 months later, Fang Hao still had not returned to Huanzhou. Qingyu heard from neighbors that Mumu's father had just passed away, so she arranged to meet Mumu on the rooftop. Qingyu hoped that the high winds might help ease some of her senior friend's sorrow. Mumu shared that while packing, she discovered her father had kept birthday cards from when she was 3 until she was 9. Mumu said that she had been admitted to Yanbei University and would take her mother to Beijing. She also admitted that the last time she advised Qingyu not to urge Mingsheng to run away, it was because she had personal feelings for him. Qingyu heard this, but did not hold it against her close friend Mumu. Later, Mingsheng accompanied his father to meet a doctor. He heard that Fang Hao was planning to go on a matchmaking date, and Mingsheng worried that her gentle and kind nature might make her vulnerable to unscrupulous people. Upon seeing an invitation to a conference honoring medical staff, Mingsheng asked to attend with his father. As a result, Mingsheng arranged for Mrs. Fang to attend the conference. He called his father and said he was playing matchmaker for his father. In fact, Mingsheng had long known about his father's quiet affection for Mrs. Fang. At that moment, Mingsheng's father softly mentioned that he had already broken up with her. Mingsheng realized that his father had sacrificed his personal feelings for the sake of him and his career. Mingsheng advised his father that it was now time to face the emotions in his heart. Understanding his son, Mingsheng's father stepped forward and publicly held Mrs. Fang's hand for the first time in front of everyone. Later, when meeting Qingyu, Luofan returned Beiyu's camcorder. She had originally intended to keep it private, but in the end, she decided it should be given to the family. Inside the camcorder was Beiyu's final recording. In it, Beiyu introduced herself and shared her illness. She recounted that immediately after her birth, her grandparents returned to the countryside simply because she was a girl. Perhaps at that very moment, she was destined to let my family down. Until she was 5 or 6, Beiyu lived happily with her parents in Shenyun. After Qingyu was born, her grandparents took her back to Namqiao village, promising that she could return to Shenyun once her mother had a son, but she waited in vain, as her parents never kept their promise. Apart from Jing Rui, no one seemed to need her. During that summer vacation, she helped Jing Rui apply medicine, and the two came to see each other as their only salvation. Unable to suppress their feelings, without a blood relation, she thought it was possible to love Jing Rui. But dreams eventually have to end. Jing Rui left her, and Beiyu bore no resentment, believing that she was never truly worthy of love. She was like anyone else. The more she couldn't have, the more she longed for it. After that, she fell into an endless cycle of fleeting romances. When she was hospitalized for appendicitis, she couldn't understand how she had contracted HIV. Fearful, she even avoided touching her mother. Yet her parents did not scold her. They closed their noodle shop to stay by her side and care for her, leaving her 2 younger siblings in Shenyun to devote all their time to her. It was then that she realized illness was not inherently a misfortune, because she knew her parents loved her just as much as they did her siblings. She hoped that one day, when she was brave enough, she could share this video with the world. The next day at school, Qingyu receives a call from her father. He tells her that her grandfather has just passed away, and she must return to Namqiao immediately. He instructs her to bring along the savings book kept in the drawer, and to take her younger brother back to their hometown. At the funeral, men gather over alcohol while women sit around playing mahjong. Qingyu and her sister burn incense for their grandfather, and Jingyu, now the eldest grandson, is tasked with guarding the coffin. Observing her mother rushing about, serving relatives and later scrubbing dishes, Qingyu cannot help but wonder why her mother must endure such servitude toward her uncle's family. Fang Hao explains bitterly that people are born to suffer, and only in death comes release. After the burial, the uncles discuss how to care for the grandmother. Understanding the situation, Mr. Chow quietly handed his aunt half a year's living expenses. The eldest uncle insists that the grandmother has grown accustomed to the youngest aunt's care and may not adapt to anyone else. Fang Hao promises that after Qingyu's college entrance exams, she will return turned to take care of her mother-in-law herself. During the gathering, the eldest aunt, following a fortune teller's words that the Qiao family's misfortunes stem from the ancestral graves, proposes relocating Beiyu's remains. Fan Hao swallows her anger, but when she hears others calling her daughter a curse, she finally loses composure. Qingyu steps in to defend her sister, insisting that she never liked Nam Chao to begin with. In the end, Chao agrees to move his daughter's remains elsewhere. The following day, the whole family goes to retrieve Beiyu. Fan Hao holds her daughter tightly in her arms, her grief etched in every movement. On the car ride back to Huanzhou, silence hangs heavy. No one utters a word. Qingyu recalls how, when taking the savings book, she had discovered a letter from Beiyu. In it, her sister had promised to work hard, so their parents would no longer have to toil over bowls of noodles. Qingyu reflects that if life could be exchanged, then perhaps heaven is filled with parents, for parents always find their own way to shield their children at all costs. Their love is so deep and heavy that at times it leaves the children gasping for breath. Yet it is precisely that love which gives them the courage to face the pain of growing up. Once, Qingyu had longed to escape from her family. Now, she wishes for nothing more than to remain forever in her parents' embrace. Chao gently whispers to his daughter that he has already taken Beiyu to her new resting place. Overcome with sorrow, Fan Hao finally understands the meaning behind Qingyu's earlier words. She believes that Beiyu, too, would want to stay close to her parents. Qingyu runs to the seashore where her sister has been laid to rest. There, she envisions the free-spirited silhouette of Beiyu. She grieves for the sister who journeyed alone to Shunyun, betrayed by Jingrui, who lay in a hospital bed consumed by loneliness and fear. Calling her sister's name, Qingyu apologizes for not being able to stay by her side. In a trembling whisper, she confesses how deeply she misses her. Half a year later, Mumu sent a letter to Qingyu. She was busy with her studies, and Mumu's mother had found a cleaning job at the school. She felt that life was getting better and better. Mumu also sent a video of Qingyu's performance. She had advanced to the next round of the Star Cup dance competition. If Qingyu was interested, she could participate in the official round held in Zhangzhou. The close group of friends decided to help Qingyu. They quickly designed costumes and choreographed a dance. They even forged an invitation letter for a recruitment seminar so that Qingyu's mother would allow her to go to Zhangzhou. Mr. Chao accidentally came across the registration form for the Star Cup but silently slipped it into his pocket for his daughter. While waiting for the train, Qingyu discovered in her bag a pair of her eldest sister's shoes and a letter. Jingyu revealed that their father had seen the Star Cup notice but quietly tucked it away. He had also picked up their eldest sister's shoes, hoping that Qingyu would fulfill Xunyu's dream. Ming Sheng learned that his mother had gone to Zhujiang to participate in the Star Cup competition. He proactively arranged to meet Anna. She mentioned that she had heard about a contestant from the same school as Ming Sheng named Qingyu, but Ming Sheng pretended not to know her. Anna confided that her manager had long intended to propose, but she wanted to seek her son's opinion first. Ming Sheng raised a glass of milk instead of wine to toast his mother's happiness. Meanwhile, a security guard, thinking the dance studio was empty, cut the power and turned off the lights. Ming Sheng escorted his mother back to the hotel. Upon returning to the hall, he heard that an amateur contestant named Qingyu had not yet registered. Anna recalled seeing several contestants pass by the practice room earlier that afternoon. Ming Sheng quickly borrowed his mother's work ID and rushed to find Qingyu. He opened the studio door and found her lying on the floor. Because she had not registered, the reserved room had been cancelled. Just as the hotel ran out of rooms, Ming Sheng had no choice but to take Qingyu to his own. Following his usual rule, he slept on the sofa to leave the bed for her. Seeing Qingyu dazed, Ming Sheng urged her to quickly dry her hair. In Qingyu's heart, she thought that Ming Sheng always appeared whenever she needed him most. He had given her a chance to repay his kindness, but the timing was not right yet. Ming Sheng felt that, in that moment, they were very much like the two of them hiding away at his grandfather's house. Qingyu quietly apologized to Ming Sheng. Both of them struggled to fall asleep, yet neither dared to look at the other. In their dreams, they shared the same longing, to be free and to be together. When the Star Cup competition finally took place, Qingyu's audio file malfunctioned. In the end, her music still played beautifully thanks to Ming Sheng accompanying her. Every graceful movement of Qingyu was like a bird soaring across the sky. She recreated the image of Beiyu shining on stage. After the competition, Qingyu thanked Ming Sheng once again for his help. She didn't wait for the results, knowing that the Star Cup was full of talented contestants. All she wished was to fulfill Beiyu's dream. Ming Sheng told her that he wanted Qingyu to repay his kindness. He knew that once he went to France, they might never see each other again, so he hoped she could let go of her burdens and enjoy half a day of freedom time with him. Together, they visited an amusement park, watching the penguins, joining a street dance, flying freely in the wind, and immersing themselves in the vast ocean. They laughed, took commemorative photos, and blended into the lively atmosphere of the park. They played as if today were just an ordinary day, not their last together. They walked a stretch of the road together, writing letters to place in the time mailbox. They cycled to the seaside to admire the lighthouse. Ming Sheng untied Qingyu's hair ribbon and didn't return it, treating it as a token belonging to him. As they watched the sunset over the sea, Ming Sheng told Qingyu to close her eyes. He presented her with a birthday cake, struggling to light the candle. Qingyu made a wish to be admitted to a top university for her family's health, and a secret wish she could not reveal. Ming Sheng said he was happy simply to have met her. Finally, the dawn arrived. Yet neither Ming Sheng nor Qingyu wished for this moment of parting. Qingyu wondered if, as they grew up and met many people, they would still remember these memories. Ming Sheng gently bit her hand, recalling the first time she had bitten him. When they reunited, he said it was a truce, declaring that he would erase all memories of her and wished her well in everything. As soon as Qingyu returned to Shenyun, she heard that the noodle shop was in trouble. It turned out that He Jie, having been released from prison, had come to cause a disturbance. He smashed things and tried to force Qingyu to go with him. Mr. Chiao immediately grabbed a gas cylinder, threatening to risk his life against the gang. Frightened, He Jie reluctantly let Qingyu go. Later that night, Qingyu found her mother lost in thought on the rooftop. She hurriedly urged her to sit down. Fang Hao recalled the time when Qingyu was just a tiny baby, while Beiyu had been chubby and full of life. She felt a deep love for her second daughter, who had endured so much pressure yet grown so capable. She admitted she didn't understand why she often nagged Qingyu, realizing it stemmed from fear that Qingyu might be like Beiyu. She lamented that even after Beiyu had died, he was still judged and blamed. Fang Hao confessed that children inevitably make mistakes, so why shouldn't her daughter be allowed to err? She resented herself for forcing Qingyu back to Namchao village and for failing Beiyu when he had been calling for help, ultimately causing his death. Later, Qingyu took her mother to see a doctor, explaining that her mother's emotions had been unstable lately. Fang Hao often cried alone and struggled to find joy. The doctor diagnosed that Fang Hao's condition was worsening, noting that she even had tendencies towards self-harm and negative thoughts. Waiting for Qingyu in front of the school gate, He Jie continued to accuse her of toying with his feelings. He even revealed that he had discovered Beiyu had AIDS, claiming that the more he loved her, the more he hated her, which led him to spread rumors online to ruin her. Qingyu condemned him for causing her sister's death, but He Jie didn't understand what she was talking about. Losing control, Qingyu lunged at the ringleader who had harmed her family. Only then did He Jie realize that Beiyu had taken her own life because of the online rumors. Upon hearing about He Jie bullying Qingyu, Ming Sheng tried to convince himself not to get involved. Yet he unconsciously went to her building. He recalled how he had once said he wanted to become a doctor, and how Qingyu had dreamed of entering Jiangzhou University, earning money to cure her mother, and buying a home for her family. He believed she could accomplish everything. Later, Ming Sheng confronted He Jie and verbally assaulted him. The next day, Mr. Chiao heard that He Jie had been beaten so badly he had to be hospitalized. He breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that from now on, no one would bother Qingyu as she prepared for her university exams. Before the university entrance exams, everyone gave their all. Each student was determined to pass, unwilling to let their youth go to waste. They seized every precious moment to study, enduring long hours of hard work, knowing that 12 years of schooling would hinge on just 3 decisive days. After so many upheavals, Qingyu was no longer confused or lost. She no longer felt anger or resentment. In her newfound calm, she wanted to lead her family positively forward. For the first time, she could see her own path stretching into the future. The university exams marked the end of her student years, but opened the first threshold of adult life. Life would continue, and whether things went as planned or left regrets, past would remain behind. The future, however, was what mattered most. Mr. Chiao quietly handed his aunt, proudly showing it to everyone in the neighborhood. Qingyu had finally achieved her first goal. Fang Hao's health gradually improved, and she even took her children shopping at the mall for lipstick. She admitted that Qingyu had grown up and could now manage herself. Before starting school, Qingyu went to say goodbye to her friends. She asked about Ming Sheng. Chen Hao's expression changed as he explained that Ming Sheng had gone to confront He Jie. He deliberately let them make the first move before striking back, but unexpectedly, He Jie pulled a knife, injuring Ming Sheng. Fortunately, Ming Sheng managed to grab a brick and knocked He Jie unconscious. He wanted to ensure He Jie would go to prison before feeling safe to leave for France. Qingyu had no idea that Ming Sheng had done so much for her. She ran to the old banyan tree, only to find the wind chime left behind. Qingyu Yu said that Mingsheng had kept his promise to erase all memories of her, so she would remember him for the rest of her life. Yu visited Beiyu's grave. Fang Hao carefully wrote down joyful moments on a piece of paper. She informed Yu that she had been accepted into the finance department at Jiangzhou University. Fang Hao also mentioned that her younger brother, Yu, was working harder. She revealed that she herself would be admitted to the hospital for psychological treatment. Fang Hao explained that she had sold their house in Shenyang to pay off all debts, and that the remaining money would be enough to buy a small house overlooking the vast sea. Fang Hao recalled the moments when Beiyu, like a young bird, gazed up at the sky. Beiyu had once said he wanted to know what it felt like to soar into the air and had asked why the sea was as vividly blue as the sky. In the end, Beiyu finally spread his wings and flew away. Yu's student life moved at a relentless pace. Every day, she cycled across the sprawling campus. Her dorm mates came from all corners of the world. Beyond her classes, Yu took on a part-time job at a psychological counseling center, hoping to help those who, like her, had once struggled. Whenever she returned to her hometown, Yu shared countless stories with her mother. Fang Hao advised her not to overwork and reassured her that there was no need to send money home anymore. She explained that she had used the money Yu had sent previously to buy her a new phone. During a family meal, Mr. Chow congratulated his wife on being discharged from the hospital. The whole family moved into their new home together, and smiles lit up every face. For the first time, their house felt free of worries. While washing dishes with her sister, Yu informed Yu that Heiji had been sentenced to 2 years in prison for assault and spreading rumors online that drove Beiyu to take her own life. Yu recalled that night when Mingsheng had come to the Chow family's noodle shop. He ordered a bowl of noodles with 8 extra chili peppers and sugar, exactly like Yu's preferred way of eating. Mingsheng said that since he would be leaving for France the next day, he wanted to remember this flavor. Using the excuse that the noodles were too spicy, he broke down crying, yet he still quietly murmured 4 words in his mouth, words engraved on his heart. During literature class, the teacher explained that French literature often expresses emotions through scenery. Yu finally understood why Mingsheng had once praised the beauty of that night's moonlight. Every weekend, she would go to watch the lighthouse, and each time she stood there, memories with Mingsheng came flooding back. In her heart, she silently awaited the day he would return. On another occasion, Mumu invited Yu to a book signing event for a famous pianist. Mumu introduced Anna, who was Mingsheng's mother. Mumu advised Yu that if she wanted to know about Mingsheng, she could ask her. Yu felt that it was all in the past. Mumu countered, asking if Yu really believed that Mingsheng had rescued her in the blizzard purely out of friendship. She reminded Yu that growing up wasn't just about accepting what couldn't be changed, but also about daring to change what couldn't be accepted. Mumu, hearing that Mingsheng had just returned to help his mother organize the concert, felt flustered and could only choose to avoid the topic. The next day, Yu received a letter sent through the Time Post. She ran to the lighthouse and read Mingsheng's heartfelt words. He wrote that he could only rely on the written word to call out her name and express the love he could not speak aloud. Yu recalled someone once saying that the person you love is like a lighthouse shining over the sea. You can always see the light, but you cannot touch it. She felt a surge of happiness, knowing there was a lighthouse shining just for her. At that moment, Yu saw Mingsheng post a photo of the lighthouse, a place filled with their shared memories. Mingsheng asked if Yu had been searching for him, and if she truly had, he would no longer leave. Mingsheng asked Yu if she could now reveal her 3rd birthday wish. Yu replied that he didn't need to know, it had already come true. Mingsheng stepped closer and returned the necklace she had once given him, saying that he had been lucky enough already. Beneath the old lighthouse, surrounded by the vast sea and sky, Mingsheng kissed Yu, their first kiss after so many days apart, a kiss that shattered every distance between them, as if it had never existed. Mingsheng had once told Yu that he would always be there whenever she turned around. The saying that the person you love is like a lighthouse shining over the sea was both a steadfast promise in moments of reverie and a beacon of hope in the darkness. Yu had walked many paths, yet in the end, she returned to the one she loved, believing in the legend of the lighthouse, that those who once parted there would one day meet again. That concludes the full story of the film. Thank you all for following along. Goodbye, and see you next time.